What would you do if you find out that your husband had a secret family that he had kept from you for 12 years? That's the story we're going to read today. In my previous video, I mentioned that I will be posting content where we'll have an opportunity to practice three methods, which are comprehensible input, which is if you want to learn a language effectively, find materials that are easy for you to understand. I will also add that find materials not only that are easy, but also they are engaging and relevant. And I think that this story, it's going to be easy for you to understand. It's going to be relevant. It's going to be engaging. Now, the second method that I talked about was shadowing, which is if you want to practice pronunciation, if you want to improve your accent at some degree. I'm not encouraging aiming for speaking like a native speaker. It's okay if you can, but I feel like if you get to the point where you can speak and someone can understand, that should be fine. Now, to practice your accent, your pronunciation, you can be repeating the sentence after me, after I read. For example, for the first time, just listen to understand the story. And then the second time, you can practice shadowing. The third method that I said I was going, to be also putting emphasis on is speaking. And in this, in this story, I will ask one question. As you listen, ask yourself this question. What is the main event that happened in the story? Ask yourself that question, pay attention to it. And after that question, now a sub question. How do the main characters react to this big event? What are their reactions? And then in the end, are there some lessons you can learn from their reactions? So this is one of the techniques that I use to understand, any text, and I invite you to do the same. So now enjoy reading. I found out my husband had a secret family. He had this secret for 12 years. I found out at his funeral. Let me start from the beginning. Mark and I were married for 15 years. I thought we had a good marriage. Not perfect, but solid. He traveled a lot for work. He was a sales manager. He was always on the road. I got used to sleeping alone. I got used to quiet dinners. I got used to him coming home tired. I thought this was normal. I thought this was what marriage looked like. The day he died, I was making coffee. It was Tuesday morning. The phone rang. I thought it was Mark. He was supposed to be in Chicago. He had a work meeting there. But it was not Mark. It was a police officer. There was an accident, a car crash. Mark was dead. I dropped my coffee cup. I can still hear the sound. The cup broke on the floor. Hot coffee splashed on my legs. I did not feel the burn. I just stood there. I held the phone. A stranger was telling me a stranger was telling me my husband was gone. The next few days were a blur. Phone calls, arrangements, people bringing food. My sister flew in. Friends came over. Everyone was kind. Everyone was careful with me. But I felt nothing. I felt empty, hollow. The funeral was on Saturday. It was a beautiful day. The sun was shining. Birds were singing. This felt wrong. How could the world keep going? Mark was gone. The funeral home smelled like flowers, lilies. Someone had sent lilies. The room was too warm, too quiet. I could hear people moving in their seats. I could hear tissues. I could hear crying. I sat in the front row. I wore a black dress. I had bought it 2 days before. It was too tight. I kept pulling at it. Like that mattered. Like anything mattered. The casket was closed. I kept looking at it. I tried to understand. Mark was inside. He was really gone. The wood was dark and polished. It looked heavy, too heavy. The service started. People said nice things about Mark. His boss talked. A friend told a funny story. I nodded along, but I was not listening. The words were just sounds. And then I heard something else. Crying. Real crying. Not the quiet crying you hear at funerals. This was loud. This was raw. Someone was sobbing. I turned around and I saw her. She was sitting in the back row. A woman I had never seen before. Maybe 35 years old. Dark hair, her shoulders were shaking. She had her hand over her mouth. She was trying to be quiet, but I could hear her. This broken, desperate sound. I stared at her. Who was she? I looked around. No one else noticed. Everyone was looking at the casket. After the service, people came to me. Hugs. I am so sorry. He was a good man. If you need anything. I nodded. I thanked them. But I kept looking for that woman. I found her outside. She was standing alone near the parking lot. She was still crying. She had a tissue on her face. I walked over to her. I do not know why. I just had to know who she was. Excuse me, I said. I am Mark's wife. I do not think we have met. She looked up at me. Her face. I will never forget her face. The shock, the guilt, the fear. It was all there. I am Sarah, she said. Her voice was shaking. I am so sorry. I should not have come. I just had to be here. Sarah, I repeated. The name meant nothing to me. How did you know Mark? She looked at the ground. She took a deep breath. Then she said something strange. He was my husband's best friend. They worked together. Mark was always so kind to us, to our family. Something did not sound right. The way she said our family, the way she could not look at me. But I was tired. I was sad. Maybe I was imagining things. Thank you for coming, I said. She nodded. Then she walked away. I watched her. I watched her get into a blue car. I watched her drive away, and I had this feeling, a deep, sinking feeling in my stomach. Something was very wrong. That night, I could not sleep. I kept thinking about her, Sarah, the way she looked at me, the way she cried. It did not make sense. Why would she be so sad? Why would she come alone? I got out of bed. The house was silent. I could hear the refrigerator, the clock, my own breathing. I walked to Mark's office, a small room at the back of the house. I had not been there since he died. I could not go in, but now I needed answers. I turned on the light. Everything was exactly as he left it. His laptop on the desk, a coffee cup still half full, cold now. I could smell it, stale, better. I sat in his chair. The letter made a sound under me. I could still smell his cologne. That smell used to make me feel safe. Now it made me feel sick. I started going through his desk. My hands were shaking. I did not know what I was looking for. Something, anything, a clue. In the bottom drawer, I found it, a small notebook, black letter, old and worn. I had never seen it before. I picked it up. It felt heavy, too heavy for something so small. I opened it. Inside, there were dates, names, addresses, phone numbers, but not for work. These were personal, very personal. I saw Sarah's name, her address, her phone number, and next to her name, in Mark's handwriting, were two words: my family. I read it again: my family. What did that mean? I kept turning pages. More dates, more notes. I saw birthdays, school events, a little girl named Emma, a boy named Jake. Emma and Jake. Who were Emma and Jake? I kept reading. Then I found a page from 3 months ago. Mark had written, Emma's dance show. I cannot miss it. I told work I had a meeting. Sarah understands. She always understands. Sarah understands. She always understands. I closed the notebook. My hands were shaking so badly. I could not breathe. The air felt thick, heavy. I sat there in Mark's chair, in his office, surrounded by his things. And I realized something terrible. For 12 years, my husband had been living a double life. 12 years, half of our marriage, half of my life. I could hear my heart beating too fast, too loud. The silence of the house pressed on me. I had to know more. I had to know the truth. I was going to call Sarah. So, this was the first part of the story. Let me know in the comment section what was the main event of the story. What is the turning point? What is something big that happened in the story? Also, let me know after this big event happened, how did the main character reacted to the story? Also, let me know in the comment, and are there lessons that we can learn so far? So this was just the first part. We have the second part coming up. I didn't want to make this video too long. So let me know if you are also interested in me uploading the second part. Thank you so much for watching.